People of power, welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry. Pardon me, guys. Where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. And if you're new and if you're unfamiliar to the ministry, this is not a traditional ministry. This is a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry. I'm also a different type of minister. For more information about what I mean by those two things, please stay tuned to the end of today's message. But I want to start by welcoming you guys, letting you know that if your heart is in the right place, if you're committed to being the best human being that you can be, you believe in a higher power, whatever that higher power is for you, or whatever that means to you, you're committed to growth, evolution, expansion, you're committed to respecting all life, all human life, all animal life, all plant life, the life of Mother Earth, then you are amongst my spiritual family members. Doesn't matter your color, your political beliefs, religious belief, ethnicity, background, financial standing, nothing else matters. If the principles that I just mentioned are intact with you, you are my spiritual family members, and I'm sending you love, encouragement, nourishment, and healing. Reach out to the ministry if I could do some of these things in a more direct way in terms of you personally. Now, without further ado, guys, we're going to get into today's topic where this is a metaphor. This is an example of how it may behoove you, just as it has behooved me, and my children, my grandchildren nowadays, lots and lots of my students, my clients, those who are suffering, that are walking this path and just trying to get it all figured out. It may behoove you, as it has behooved so many others, including myself, to take a mindset, a heart set, a view, a perspective of being the ugly duckling. That's what we're talking about today, guys, the ugly duckling. We all are familiar with the story, and we all know what the story represents. It represents shining in the end, becoming the best at the end of the journey. It represents that there's a process, and it represents this idea, this notion, this truth in a lot of instances, that others may be ahead of you. Joy, happiness, finances, physical conditioning, social influence, whatever the case may be. And they may be shining. They may be ahead of you. They may be doing better than you in those areas. And they all may not. Some of them may not. Or all of them may. Look down at you, laugh at you, mock you, shame you, ridicule you, excommunicate you, spread rumors and false narratives about you. Because you're the ugly duckling. I am the ugly duckling. This is what we all are at some points in our lives. But we know what that ugly duckling not just goes through, but we know that ultimately becomes the most beautiful duck in the pond. So whether it's your not so pleasant attitude, maybe a lack of knowledge, lack of education, physical conditioning, family matters that people are aware of, maybe it's the house that you're living in, you win in the end. And it's not like the end that I'm saying you win in terms of, oh, you're on your way out to the next form of existence. You're headed to the grave, you're too old to enjoy the victory. No. That's not the end. that we're talking about, just like it wasn't the end in the story of the ugly duckling. At the end of the journey, the end of the journey was not the end of the journey. There was plenty of time, plenty of room, plenty of opportunity for that duck to spread its wings. And although not in an arrogant or egotistical way, but just in a humble, self-assured, and confident way, that duck was able to spread its wings. Spread its wings and say, look at me now. This is what the good book means when he says, or when it says, he will plant a table before you in the presence of your enemies. They laughed, they talked, they attacked. They did all these different things. And so they just don't get to cruise off into the sunset and not be able to witness that ugly duck's evolution. No. They're going to have to sit in it. They're going to have to mire in it. So again, this is not at the end of the road, and this is not, at a time period when you can't enjoy it, and this is not in a phase to where all these people that are laughing at you, that are talking at you, are talking down on you, that's doing all the little things, they have these misguided illusions within themselves that they're controlling something. When you're going to get this, when you're going to not get that, when they're going to buy this, what they're not going to buy, your work schedule. They just got this delusional mindset that they're in control of something. Maybe there's a delusional mindset in terms of them being able to think, or they can just push your buttons. They can just wind you up and make you tick whenever they want. They want to make you feel happy. They think your eyes have been opened. Whether you have already embraced this metaphor or not, your eyes have been opened that these people are about as fake as a rubber $1.50 bill. So you're aware of all of their shenanigans, and I do mean all. When they feel like, oh, I'm happy. This is the narcissist. When they feel like they're happy, so now they feel like they want you to be happy. They want to take you to the movies. They want to give you the day off of work that you requested, whatever. Because they're happy. Or maybe they're not happy. Maybe they're just into that hoovering phase, that love bomb phase, to where they just get this weird delusion within themselves that they can affect your happiness, your sadness, your joy, your anger, your days off of work, the things that they buy you, the things that they celebrate with, the days they speak with enthusiasm, the days they just be quiet and try to, call themselves making you suffer. You are aware of all of this. And you are aware of the fact that, okay, I just like that ugly duckling. All I have to do is just stay alive. That ugly duckling didn't have to do anything. It didn't have to go to the salon, get his hair done, get a facelift, a makeover, start trying to fit in. The ugly duckling didn't have to do nothing but stay alive. That's all we have to do, stay alive in terms of who we are, what we believe in, keeping our joy, our enthusiasm, our faith, our zest, our zeal for life, our humbleness, our compassion, our courage. That's all we have to do is stay alive and to not let death invade those things. So I want you to really, really, kind of, if not totally embrace, at least toy around with this metaphor from time and time again. Because just like that ugly duckling, you win. And we, knowing how the story of the ugly duckling worked, it's like when we embrace that, it's like, okay, we can accept the fact that, okay, this is a predetermined outcome. We've read the book. We're living it. We're experiencing it in different areas and different aspects of our lives. But we've read the book. We know how this ends. So all we have to do is kick back. We don't have to fret. We don't have to, become unhinged. We don't have to become bothered, irritated, fall into despair, fight back, or nothing. All we have to do is keep alive what he has put inside of us. We know how this story ends. It's a fixed outcome. The ugly duckling, again, we've read the book, the ugly duckling rises. It shines in the end. We know the story of great men, great people on this planet who were ugly ducklings and ultimately shined in the end. I mean, the list goes on in terms of these human beings. We know the story of, where should I start? Walt Disney? Someone who was told no over and over and over again. Someone, when he went in there with the sketches that were born out of his imagination and his thoughts and ideas of how he could advertise and market these things, when he went in there with the value and put the value of what he had inside of him on the table and showed it to all these different people that could have financed and assisted him, we all know how he got laughed at, mocked, talked about, shamed. And he didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to change course. He didn't have to change his vision. He didn't have to change what he believed in, change his personality, his concept, none of that. In fact, him embracing it all is what caused him to one day be living in an old, raggedy, dilapidated apartment filled with mice, roaches, and rats. That imagination that they tried to cause him to let die, that imagination caused him to say, he looked out the corner of his eyes and say, now there's a rat. That's a funny looking rat. His ears, it seems a little bit bigger than the other rats. It's got this weird pinkish color on his face. And he drew a sketch of it. We know how all that worked out. Mickey Mouse took him to heights that only an ugly duckling can achieve. Come on. We know the story of many, many more. You want to talk about Nikola Tesla? We know how he got laughed at, talked about, shamed, ridiculed, the whole shebang. Everything that you and I have to go through. And now, how many years later, now everybody's talking about Tesla this or Tesla that. Everybody's using his inventions, following up on his frame of thoughts, etc., etc. We know the story of Muhammad Ali. Kicked out, put down, talked about, laughed at, and mocked. And of course, we know the story of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Laughed at, talked about, outcast, ridiculed, didn't change nothing about himself. Matter of fact, he doubled down. He pushed in, and that's what you have to do. He embraced this fact that no matter what they talking about, I win. This is a fixed fight. I'm not caught up in what it looks like, what it feels like, what they talking about it like. I'm caught up in the truth of the matter. That the ugly duckling wins. Oftentimes, guys, when we're going through this, Einstein, it goes on and on and on. They talked and laughed about Einstein. Look, he can't even tie his shoe. That poor little kitty, during 10 years old, he can't even tie his shoe. He got what kind of equation? This doesn't add up, even out, doesn't make any sense at all. What's wrong with this guy? So oftentimes when they're going through that phase, guys, sometimes people aren't recognized. They aren't appreciated until it comes to full flourishing. And people begin to realize, wow, that's the most sharpest tool in the shed. That's the most beautiful, the most vibrant, the most elegant duck in the pond. Now, there are some people out there that know that even though at this phase of your journey or my journey or crisis journey, whatever, they know that during that ugly duckling phase, they already know this guy, this girl is destined to rule. This guy, this girl has a predestined call to glory, to accomplishment, to victory, to an enormous amount of success, both in their inner development and their outer achievements in life. This person is what we would call anointed. They know that. They know that you blossom into the most beautiful duck on the entire pond. So what do? They start getting jealous and hateful in advance. Not because of where you are now, but where they know you end up. And there are a few, a very, very limited few, who are going to see you as that ugly duckling. The car that you're driving, I'm just using these as, metaphors or analogies. The car that you're driving, the weight that you have to lose, the drama that's going on in your relationship, your finances, your business, the reputation. Some people are going to see you in that stage of that ugly duckling, and they're going to see the same thing that the haters are going to see. This guy, this girl is destined to rule. This guy, this girl is destined to be a leader, to be an achiever, an overcomer, an accomplisher, a revolutionary, to be the most beautiful duck on the pond. And those very, very few people are going to follow you. They're going to support you. They're going to uplift you. They're going to nourish you. They're going to assist you all across the board. But again, that's a very, very few people. Most people are going to be like the witch in Snow White, looking in the mirror, talking to those evil people that they go get their palms read and crystal ball work and all that stuff. They're going to be like Snow White, looking into that mirror, thinking that because you're the ugly duck and they're so ahead of the game, they're going to be thinking that that's always going to be the case. And then it's, here come you. And just like when Snow White looked into that mirror and said, who's the fairest of them all? Hey, look, Snow White, you shining now. There's another one on the horizon that's going to replace you 1,000-fold. And your beauty, your success is not going to amount to kindergarten child's play. They're going to see it. And instead of them saying, well, maybe I ought to assist this. I want to be around to share in this. If I can't be number one, I'm okay with being number two. If I can't be number two, I'm okay with just being number 5 or just being on the team, period. They're not going to say that. Arrogance. Hubris. So they're going to laugh at you. They're going to talk about you. They're going to shame you and try to get you to lose sight of the fact that you're the ugly duckling now, but you're the beautiful swan in the end. They know this. You have to know it. Now, this is a very simple yet profound message, guys. And it's a very simple yet profound metaphor. And all you have to do is keep right on believing. Keep right on knowing, hey, this is who I am. This is what I believe in. And when the time is right, my Father is going to elevate me to that position of the beautiful swan. And all of the people that talked about me, that mocked me, that shamed me, that attacked me, they're going to have to sit there and witness it. They don't get to turn a blind eye. They can run to the other side of the earth. They're going to have to witness that. And they know it. They know they're going to have to witness it, and they know how distraught they're going to be when they have to witness it. So they're fighting with everything they got to not have to witness it and to try to get you to fall into that notion that you're going to always be the ugly duckling. No, we read this book, excuse me. We know the other life examples, excuse me, about how this all works. We can look at Michael Jordan. He went out there for the basketball team. They didn't just cut him. They talked about him, shamed him, laughed at him, told him he wasn't tall enough, he wasn't good enough, he didn't have enough skill, he don't work hard enough. So maybe he had read this literal book, and maybe he had embraced this concept in a conscious or unconscious way, or not. Maybe he didn't. But the truth still remains. Don't sell out. Don't surrender your integrity. Don't surrender your passions, your convictions, your beliefs. If he wants you to change those things, to expand on those things, or to evolve, or maybe morph and shape those things, or to evolve past them altogether, he will have you do that. But don't you do it. Not from an intellectual standpoint, not from a earthly standpoint, like, well, maybe if I just do this, maybe I'll fit in. Don't do it. You win in the end, man. And like I said, that end don't mean when you're too old or you're too advanced, or you right before a person's right before their deathbed, and then I win. No, you're gonna win in a way and in a time that's going to allow you to enjoy it, and it's going to be the ultimate penance or the ultimate price that your enemy is going to have to pay, because you didn't do anything to them to begin with. They either just look at you and feel like they're better than you, or they look at you and feel like they know one day you're going to be better than them. And so they lash out. Reach out to this ministry if I could be of assistance to you guys. There's these kinds of philosophical views and perspectives that I find very nourishing and very beneficial to, again, not just myself personally, but to my children who are all grown, have their own children. I'm blessed and fortunate enough to be active and to mentor and assist them and love them in their lives and just give them information. I was literally talking to one of my grandchildren earlier today, and letting them know that, hey, the world is going to try to change you. The world is going to try to convince you that you're just an ugly duckling. And they're going to pull up in their shark cars. They're going to show you their Cash App accounts. They're going to bring all their friends in and do all the things they can to get you to believe this or that about yourself, about the world we live in. But the truth that you need is inside of you. So again, reach out to this ministry if I can be of assistance to you guys. I'm faithfully confident that you guys were able to relate to the metaphor and that it did provide you with nourishment, if it did, pardon me guys, if it did provide you with nourishment, then that's a clear indication. That's a telltale right off the bat to you that others are meant to get value out of this message as well. So if you don't do anything else, guys, please hit the share button. You can feel good about yourself like you know you should, like you know you deserve. Maybe your schedule was too busy today. Maybe your mood was off, like we all go through, whatever the case may be. But you can hit that share button and know that, hey, I did a good deed today. I know that someone is going to receive this message, and I know that if it was edifying and nourishing to me, someone else is going to be edified and nourished by it. So hit the share button if you would, please. Obviously, this ministry would love for you to do more, and that would be to hit the thumbs up while you're at it for the YouTube algorithm. Hit the subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and hit the bell icon for notifications. If you'd like to make a financial donation to show your thanks, support, and generosity towards this ministry, then you can do so by hitting the Cash app that I'll leave down in the description box. And whether you donate $1, whether you donate 35 cents, $100, whatever you donate, he sees your heart. And whether you donate something or not, just by hitting that Cash app, hitting that share button, the notification button, leaving a comment, thumbing up the video, any good seed that you pour into this ministry, I promise you, because he has already promised you, I'm just the vessel that he's using to deliver it. I promise you that whatever good seed you pour into this ground, you will receive an abundant harvest, shaken down, pressed together, and running over. When our hearts is in the right place, guys, and we're not just doing stuff for reward in and of itself, we fully just understand, hey, if I want a crop, I need to plant something. When we're doing it innocently and keeping that in mind, then he's promised to always be a helper to those who are a helper of others. So do those things if you would, please. Again, I'll leave an email link, which I'll talk about here in a minute, for you to reach out for further advice, consultation, prayer, perspectives, whatever the case may be. I'll leave that along with the Cash app. And again, whatever way you show your thanks and appreciation to this ministry is sending an incredible ripple out throughout the spiritual realm that says, hey, this message is important, it has value, and I align with this message. That's what you do in any way that he moves you to show your thanks, generosity, and or support toward this ministry. Now, let's talk about the ministry real quick. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry. I'm literally promoting mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness. I provide real-world services that are designed, different elements, different aspects, different types of services that are designed to help strengthen and nourish you in the mental you, other services for the physical you, other services for the spiritual you. If holistic health and wellness is something that appeals to you, then I invite you to watch a video that's titled MBS Service Tutorial. It's going to talk about all these different services, explain to you what they consist of, how they're implemented, and things of that nature. Please visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. And if you're interested in any or perhaps all of the services, hit the email link down in the description box. I'd love the opportunity to speak with you further. If you guys would please do me a personal courtesy, and that would be to watch a different video. That video is titled My Testimony and Disclosure. That's very dear to me, guys, because I have to. If I don't do anything else, and that's the whole purpose of this ministry, to give back, to help, and to share the story of what he's done and what he continues to do and mean to me in my life. He is not, let me be clear, he is not just some kind of ancient relic that lives in the post, modern times. He's still alive. He's still on the throne, and he's still performing miracles. If he did it for me, trust me, he'll do it for absolutely anyone. So this other video is titled My Testimony and Disclosure. Yes, it's going to talk about the origins of the ministry as well, but more importantly, it's going to glorify him. And if you're a person that you like to occasionally be reminded that he's still on the throne, then that's an indication that you may very well relate to my story. And if you do, again, that's an indication that someone else is meant to relate to it as well. So hit the share button on that video as well, if you would, please. I do believe that's everything that I got for you guys today. Go out there and wear that ugly duckling, stigma, reputation, even if it's a truth right now. We're not afraid of the truth. It's the truth that makes us free. Somebody may be doing better than me in their finances, in their wisdom, their understanding. They may have more love in their life, more finances, whatever the case may be. I'm not afraid of that. I can face the truth about it. Because ultimately, like an ugly duckling, I become that beautiful swan in the end. And so do you. Reach out to this ministry if I can be of assistance to you guys. Remember, it's a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry, and it is your divine assignment to make sure that regardless of what's going on in your life, you make sure that your mind, your body, and your spirit is as vibrant, as healthy, and as beautiful as possible. This ministry has been anointed to help you achieve such a task, and if you like, I'd love the opportunity to speak with you. Reach out if I can be of service. I love you all whose hearts are in the right place. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holla back. Peace.